We begin today's wrestling news and rumors video with some news and updates regarding Triple H, which was provided by Shawn Michaels through a recent interview for The Heartbreak Kid. Now, a lot of fans have been wondering how Triple H has been doing since his truly unfortunate health scare back in September of 2021. And despite getting over his health issues, Triple H still has not yet returned to his roles in WWE behind the scenes, at least not on a full-time basis whatsoever. Since leaving WWE, and more specifically the NXT brand, Triple H's best friend and right-hand man Shawn Michaels has been the one taking charge of NXT behind the scenes while Triple H is away. And here's Shawn Michaels' message about basically overseeing NXT while Triple H is gone, and how Hunter's been doing since leaving WWE. Most of it is me bothering him, to be perfectly honest. He has worked so much over the last several years, and I don't think he understood that it becomes your normal. For him to step away for a little bit, look, that takes getting used to. I went through it obviously. I'm one of the rare people that was ready to do it and embrace it, but when it just happens out of the blue and you're not expecting it, for him to go 100 miles per hour to nothing was an adjustment. But I think he is, especially around this time of year, he's now starting to realize like, hey, this isn't too bad. I think he's bordering enjoying himself now, to be perfectly honest. It's a well-deserved break for him for sure. If Shawn Michaels is correct, Triple H is reportedly slowly coming around to being away from WWE and all of his roles in the company, and is actually starting to enjoy himself since leaving WWE. If that is true, it's really not that surprising that Triple H is beginning to enjoy all the time away from WWE, because by all means the WWE environment can be incredibly stressful, especially for someone like Triple H who has so many important responsibilities behind the scenes, and Vince McMahon can definitely be a bit difficult to work with. However, there is no doubt that Triple H does want to eventually return to WWE, as he does get enjoyment out of his work for the company, but it is unknown as of right now when that will be at this point, although hopefully not too far out in the future. 2021 has been a great year for a number of WWE superstars, and now that we are closing out the year of 2021, there is one accomplishment that the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre holds over every other talent on the roster. For those of you unaware, it was reported by Cage Match that not only has Drew McIntyre wrestled the most matches in 2021 at a total of 93 matches, but Drew also has the most wins in WWE for the year at 72, which is an incredibly impressive statistic. And Drew had a win percentage of 77.4%, which is also higher than any other WWE star for the year of 2021. Drew McIntyre started off 2021 as the WWE champion over on Monday Night Raw, and had a lengthy title feud with Bobby Lashley going into WrestleMania 37. And while Drew McIntyre has not really been the forefront of WWE following the showcase of the Immortals, the stats don't lie, and WWE still clearly view McIntyre as one of the top superstars in the company by far. Like we've mentioned in previous videos, reports indicate that 2022 is going to be a great year for Drew McIntyre, and it is highly likely that he will be getting an opportunity at the Universal Championship in the not-so-distant future. And if that's the case, perhaps Drew will have the most wins and matches for 2022 as well, which would be so impressive. We now have some very interesting news concerning Jeff Hardy, and where Jeff could be headed to next following his unfortunate release from WWE earlier this month. Jeff's brother Matt Hardy was recently interviewed, and towards the end of this interview, Matt Hardy talked a bit about his brother and a potential Hardy Boys reunion in AEW. Here's Matt's response. That would be fabulous. I know both of us have stated on quite a few occasions that we both want to end our careers the way we began our careers, and that is as a tag team. That was our dream as two kids growing up. We wanted to be the tag team champions of the world, at least one time. Obviously, we have very fortunately exceeded that many times over, but I think us teaming together and having one last run as a tag team would be amazing, and I couldn't think of a better place to do it than All Elite Wrestling. Now, while it had previously been reported that there was not a whole lot of interest in Jeff Hardy from AEW, clearly Matt Hardy feels that the Hardy Boys reunion will occur in AEW sometime in the future, and that likely would be a very fitting end to both superstars' careers in all honesty. As many of you are likely aware, last week's episode of Monday Night Raw saw the team of AJ Styles and Omos officially split up, and it was then advertised that AJ Styles would have been facing off against Omos in a singles match last night on Raw. However, that did not end up happening, and instead AJ Styles competed against Apollo Crews, in which Styles won. Even though Omos was actually in attendance for Raw last night, his planned match against AJ Styles was cancelled, and apparently the reason for that match between Styles and Omos being cancelled was because WWE had AJ Styles and Omos face off against each other at a live event on Boxing Day at Madison Square Garden, and that match was reportedly horrendous. One of our sources, Dave Meltzer, had the following message about the whole AJ Styles and Omos situation. The Garden match with AJ Styles and Omos, I was told, was absolutely horrible, so it is possible WWE decided at the last minute, like, why put a horrible match on TV, so maybe that's it. Or maybe it's the worldwide situation, I don't know. It was a weird thing, the way they handled it, because they announced the match at the start of the show, and then all of a sudden, later on in the show, AJ goes, "Come on out, let's do the match," and he's not there. By all means, this is pretty bad news when it comes to Omos, because it could signal that WWE are already losing a bit of faith in Omos's potential in WWE, and if that is the case, then many fans' opinions of Omos are coming true, because lots of fans felt like Omos was way too green and would not succeed in WWE once his alliance with AJ Styles finished, and this is not a good sign whatsoever where Omos is concerned. We finish off today's wrestling news and rumors video with a bit of speculation regarding who WWE could be planning to win the Raw Women's Championship from Becky Lynch, and it could apparently very well be Becky's current rival, Liv Morgan. A new backstage report provided by Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer stated that Liv Morgan could be the next Raw Women's Champion after Becky Lynch, and here's Dave's message about the situation. "I think that's probably going to happen. The thing is, I don't know what the long term is, but I mean they can have Morgan win, but in the long term, Lynch should be the champion. But there is no rule like she can't lose it for a little while and win it back. It would make Liv Morgan, it would help Morgan into something. It would elevate her to have a short title reign. And Lynch is not going to get hurt by losing it and winning it back. Lynch is already a star. I don't know that, they are sometimes hesitant about giving new people titles, but it's a pass-around title. I mean, there's no reason not to. It's not like Roman Reigns, the world title is not a pass-around championship. Clearly, there is a chance that Liv Morgan could be winning the Raw Women's title from Becky Lynch at day one, and while this may be sad news for Becky Lynch's fans, it will definitely be considered amazing news for Liv Morgan's fans out there for sure.